Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Hello, hi, hello. So happy to be here. It's Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. Battlefield 6 release day. Mavericks fan jam. Whole lot going on. We have toast with peanut butter and banana. I was so... You can get Battlefield? I already have it. My dumbass, when the beta was out, I was like, I kind of want to play the beta. I always fucking love Battlefield games. And I just assumed, all right, I got to pre-order the game. So I pre-ordered it. Not only did I pre-order it like the most expensive version, like $100 or whatever the fuck it was. And I go to play the beta and I can't play it. And I'm like, the hell? Then I realized I have to watch a Twitch stream for an hour. So, yeah, I got it already. So yeah, I got it. Couple things got to talk about real quick. Right off the rip. I mean, You guys have a problem with the streams? Oh, man. Wow. Sorry. Sorry. No, for real though. Tough one for the Eagles, man. They fought hard. Like, you know, when you play against a team led by Jackson Dart and this dominant New York Giants team, it's tough to win, man. It's a tough place to win at. It's a tough team to beat. The Giants are just a really good ball club. Really, really good ball club. So it makes sense. You know, Jalen Hurts, when you're a top, 35-ish quarterback like Jalen Squirts is, it's you're going to have games that are rough, but you got to pick yourself up. Bryce with the $9.99, Mavs in 4. That's what I need. True. And even the Giants missing their two best receivers, missing some linemen, missing some key defensive pieces. Like, they're still a tough team to beat, even with all those injuries that they have, missing all of their best players pretty much. They're still a tough team to beat. Like, ignore their dog shit, absolutely appallingly bad record. I mean, Jalen Hurts, some leeway there, right? This guy's a top 5 quarterback in the NFC East. Like, he just is. You have to respect that. Top 5 NFC East quarterback. Like, so you got to respect it. I'd probably put him 4th after what I saw last night from Dart. I'd probably have Hurts 4th in that sort of ranking. But he's still top. Okay, so that puts him as the top 4 quarterback in the NFC East. Honestly, if I'm actually like looking into it a little bit deeper, like, and I hate to do this, but the game Russell Wilson had against the Cowboys a few weeks ago is better than anything I've ever seen from Squirts. I mean, Hurts. So maybe he's 5th. So that would still put him as a top 5. That would still put him as a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. But I'm thinking, I'm actually thinking a little bit more. Jameis had a year with the Bucks. What did he throw? 30 interceptions, 30 touchdowns, but still his passing stats were kind of insane. I think it's okay. That at least puts Hurts as a top 6 quarterback in the NFC East, which is respectable. It is respectable. It's respectable. So you got to give the guy some pass, man. When Eagles fans say that Hurts is a top 5 quarterback, you see where they're coming from. He is. He's borderline top 5 in his own division. More like Jalen Hurts' own team. Like, I mean, dude, I can't believe I had to sit here and listen to real humans tell me that he was a top 5 quarterback at any point in time. It's insane. I'm sorry. What are you guys watching? He's fine. You know, yeah, he threw a god-awful, horrible, god-awful piece of garbage interception last night. But, like, that was his first one in 300. He just doesn't do anything. Right? He doesn't do anything. Telling you guys, there's 20 guys in the league who can do what he does. And I'm not fucking kidding. Being dead serious. The Tatum comparison to Hurts, so disrespectful. So disrespectful. I saw someone compare him to Shea. I'm like, dude, that is... No. No. Yeah, Dak clears him by a million fucking miles. It's not even close. It's not even a debate. By the way, Cam Scatterbo, I would just say I'd have about 10 years post-retirement, I would just have a police car just kind of in the area of wherever he is. If he doesn't have one of the worst cases of CTE we've ever seen, that would be surprising. And I hope that's not the case. Like, don't get me wrong. I know that's not really a joking matter. But that guy's insane. That guy's insane. I saw a clip of him from his Arizona State days banging his head into the wall. And someone was like, what the fuck are you doing? He was like, getting my neck right. What an insane... But you know the type of player Cam Scatterbo is? It's kind of reminiscent of like Derrick Henry almost. Where it's like you saw it in that last drive when the Giants were just milking clock. The game was over. The game was over. But nobody's going to want to tackle that fucking guy. You're losing... You've had a disappointing game. You've been on the field a while. Now all of a sudden this freight train is sprinting at you full speed. And he doesn't care. He has no like reckless abandon. He doesn't value his life. He sure as hell doesn't value your life at all. I'm not tackling this fucking guy. You kidding me? This is actually, you want to know something funny is like, yeah, Giants fans wish their team was better, but this is low-key one of the most fun times to be a fan. When you've got like some young dudes on your team that you love. And it's like, yeah, we might lose games here and there, but fuck, it's fun to watch right now. It's fun to watch Dart and Scatterbo go out there. Sorry, didn't want to tell the State of the League guys he beat Elden Ring when he asked what he did this summer. Oh yeah, I should have said that, shouldn't have I? I became Elden Lord. That was my biggest accomplishment of the summer. Scatterbo is the first case of weaponized CTE. Scatterbo is the kind of guy you love on your team and hate anywhere else. I like watching him. I wish Neighbors were healthy. Then that would be like, that sucks that he got injured. Because that's a really fun trio. Dart, Scatterbo, and Neighbors. And Neighbors is a fucking dog. Obviously destroyed the Cowboys, but that goes without being said, really. So anyways, got a good kick out of this one. We have an Eagles fan, a fan in our group. And we always kind of joke. He knows that Hurts isn't very good, but we always kind of joke like anytime Hurts. And what's the deal? Hurts has had 3 touchdown passes the last 2 weeks, right? 3 touchdown passes the last few weeks. Was last week when he threw those shuttle passes to okay, so a couple weeks ago. Had 2 touchdown passes, both on shuttle passes to Goddard. And then he did it again. Are they boosting his stat? Honest to God, are they boosting his stats? Like, is there a reason they're not just giving the ball to fucking Saquon and letting him run in for it? Are they like, we need to boost Hurts stats? Like, people are zeroing in on him. He's had 3 touchdown passes in the last 3 weeks that are literally underhand scoop passes. But that wasn't it for Philadelphia. Now, it's funny because I went to go to our softball. I went and watched our softball team last night. And the umpire, I guess, was like, Philly's lost. And I was like, oh, that sucks, man. And he was like, well, they're also Eagles fans. He said that. I was like, you know what? That's actually true. Never really thought about that. I was like, you know, that's a good point. Dude, this is. Oh, to lose a game like this. What was he thinking, man? Oh, that's so painful. Oh, I just want to go and give this guy a hug. Had so much time to go to first. Now, to be fair, this is where my player expertise, and not to pull Ryan Clark on you guys, but you guys weren't players. You would never understand. This is where my playing expertise comes into play. Baseball. Your mental clock speeds up so much the moment you bobble a ball. That's just the reality. The moment you start to bobble a ball, your mental clock just speeds up times 100. But man, he had plenty of time. And it's probably, I mean, look, JT Real Muto's pointing to first. As a catcher, which I was, you got to be like, what? What? You got to be screaming, right? And who knows? It was loud as fuck in there. You know, 50,000. How many people fit in Dodger Stadium? It's a ton, right? Oh, I bet JT Real Muto, the moment he saw this, was like, what the fuck? Oh, he had so much time to turn and throw to first. Look at this, man. He's like a quarter of the way there, a third of the way there. Ugh. Oh, so much time. Look at that. So much time. You know, now that I'm watching this, I was about to say, if this were a good throw, I think he might have had him. I'm not sure, though. It'd have to be kind of a BB. The Dodgers' reaction was funny, where they're just like, "What? Wait, what? We won?" Oh. Oh, man, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. So I don't want to say who I'm rooting for in baseball right now. I want you guys to guess. Because I originally said, you know what? I'm going to make my team the Reds, knowing full well they're probably about to get their ass beat. So, my bad. Things are taking a turn for the team that I have now adopted. Things are taking a turn. The Brewers. I haven't wanted to say anything, but I'm rooting for the Brew Crew. But yeah, I'm pretty much any team but the Dodgers. Like, I'd be cool with any team but the Dodgers. I'd be cool with the Cubs. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not rooting against the Cubs. I don't like really care. Ooh, Scooble tonight. Game 5, winner go home. Scooble on the bump. That's nice. I like that. That's what it's all about. That's what the playoffs are all about right there. Can't wait. How are my picks doing? How's my bracket doing, by the way? 0th percentile? Well, I don't like to see that. Okay, picked the Guardians to win. Oh my God. I haven't gotten a single fucking series right. If the Tigers win tonight, I will have gotten 0 series correct. Oh. Oh, man. What was I? Reds beating the Dodgers. What was I thinking? The hell was I thinking? Well, this is why playoff baseball is funny, because the Tigers went into the playoffs shitting all over themselves. They blew a ginormous division lead to the Guardians, who just simply could not lose a game, and then they win the series on the road. That's baseball. If you think about it, getting everything wrong is just as impressive as getting them all right. I agree. You know, they should implement like a FanDuel thing. If your parlay is like 5 legs long, if you miss all of them, you get your money back at least. Something like that. I had a friend was telling me, I have a couple buddies who like every weekend do like a 12 leg anytime touchdown score parlay. They've never hit, but they each pitch in like $5 a weekend. If they ever do hit, they're going to make out like bandits. He told me a couple weeks ago they got 12 wrong. All 12 wrong. 0 for 12. I was like, you know what? That's one of the most impressive things I've ever heard. That's you know, at a certain, that's like, you know what? That's pretty impressive. Dude, Call of Duty's in such a bad place, like that they're one of their biggest draws of the new game is that the lobbies stay the same from game to game. It's fucking horrible. Gaming is in one of the worst places you've ever seen. Oh no, not Centel. I want to go to Central. I want to start here. I say start, we're 30 minutes in, so. But a Chinese team is reportedly preparing to offer Russell Westbrook a massive contract. So obviously people are going to see this and clown Russ probably. All the replies. This is a really funny video and I love watching it. But you know, all the replies, China, 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 Shanghai Sharks, so on and so forth. I actually think this would be a great move for us personally. If I were like advising him, I would say, dude, you should really think about this, because what is he, 36? You know, still somebody who probably could get an NBA contract somewhere. But, you know, about to turn 37 in a month. Wow, god damn. You know, we talk about the longevity of like LeBron and stuff, and I feel like for Russ, it's because he's been a bench guy for a few years now and hasn't been Russell Westbrook in like 5 or 6 years. But his longevity's been a little bit insane. I mean, at least from an athletic perspective. And knock on wood, really been kind of an Iron Man too, outside of the Patrick Beverley incident, which wasn't his fault at all. Just insane longevity from an athletic perspective. Yeah, he's still a good athlete. And that athleticism, he could go to China and be a fucking stud, I think. But on top of that, you get paid more. How much does that matter to him at this stage of his career? I don't know. But he can get paid more. He goes to China. He would be the highest profile player to ever play there, right? The highest profile player to ever play in China. Am I missing somebody? If he goes over there and has a few years, 2, maybe 3 years of like high level play there, dude, you would be a national hero there for the rest of your life. You know, you would be a legend there forever. Or you can take a vet minimum on the Kings, come off the bench, be dog shit on the Kings team, and get made fun of every time you miss a mid-range jumper. Yeah, okay. I was thinking Dwight, but Russ is way higher profile than Dwight. Who am I taking, T-Mac or Westbrook? T-Mac was really fucking good. I don't know, man. Russ at his peak was incredible. Absolutely incredible. So take a little bit more money. Yeah, and grow your brand, which you already are an international star, but grow your brand in China 10 times. I mean, look at Stephon Marbury, man. If I were advising Russ, I'd be like, dude, we should do this. Go over there, play a couple years, put up some gaudy stat lines, be the most famous person there, be an ambassador of the game, retire in a few years. They would love him over there. Are you serious? They would love him over there. I think it'd be a great move. Did you listen to Bill Simmons' Mavericks propaganda today? It was beautiful. No, really? Really? Bill Simmons is in. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I mean, I'm going to listen. This morning I was catching up. I like to listen to every Bill podcast. He's all the way bought in. Oh, okay. That's really interesting. He's all in. What does that even mean? What does all in mean? His favorite team to watch? All right. I need to... Bryce with the 999. Nobody raises a bad team ceiling like Russ. Nobody puts a ceiling on a great team like Russ either. You know, when I watched Russ on that Wizards team, and that was just like, you know what? Russ is just stamped for me. Like, obviously, he has his major flaws as a player, and yeah, like his limitations make it a little bit difficult to imagine like him being the guy, obviously not at this stage of his career, but I'm saying like at his peak on like a winning team. And in his defense, like if it weren't for that 3-1 series collapse in 2016, they're champions, right? And if he didn't break his leg, who knows? Like, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that Wizards team, it wasn't a half bad team in the Eastern Conference. They were the 8th seed. But he did. Like, and that was when I went and looked back when the Mavs got Gafford. I went back and I watched him play Gafford's minutes with Russ. And I was like, oh yeah, like one, get Gafford a guy who can throw a lob and he'll fucking feast. But two, God, Russ is one of these guys, man. He'll just get the most out of some of these dudes. You know, if you're a center, you want to play with Russell Westbrook. Longevity is a lot of luck. Oh, yeah. I mean, it mostly is. Obviously, 95% of these guys take the best care of their bodies possible. And sometimes injuries just happen. And then there's kind of like a snowball effect with injuries. Then you get one, and it's like, all right, we're recovering from this. We're kind of rushing back. Maybe I'm overcompensating a little bit. And that leads to this. And now we're just kind of like a slew of injuries. But then you have like, you know, Lively, who's missed a lot of games. But how many of those injuries have just been dumb, stupid as fuck luck? You know? They're showing something on ESPN here of, what's that guy's name? Gannon, the Arizona coach, who hit DeMarcado or whatever. Dude, I've seen people say like, so soft, bro. I mean, I didn't play I played football at a middle school level. Let me be clear. But I did play baseball at a decently high level growing up. Like, a coach laying a hand on a player never goes over well. Like, what the fuck? I can't believe people defend that. That is like never something that goes over well. That is like the last, a coach being like that, your team's going to hate you. Russ no longer needed for any team. Wait, they're showing this play. Was that not a touchdown? It kind of looked like he was in the end zone before that thing got tipped out. Yeah, hitting players, like, that's just crazy, man. Yelling and shit, like, that's one thing entirely. Like, there was that remember we talked about it on stream. There was that college coach where people were mad at because he was calling players pussies or whatever. I'm like, dude, okay. Okay. Seriously? We're getting mad at calling other people pussies. You guys are playing like pussies. Like, all right. Putting hands on someone, not good. Tech is getting upset tomorrow, by the way. Boo! Boo! Boo this man! Well, this is a peak slightly biased stream. We're 40 minutes in. 40 minutes in, haven't gotten to a single thing that was put in the title. Oh, man. Hilarious. Yeah, Tech's good. Tech is good. Kansas will be a pretty tough game for them. But really, if you look at their schedule, if they make it through Kansas, and this could be a toughie. They've got Arizona State next weekend. And then outside of that, man, it's BYU. So if you can get to there, it's on the table is all I'm saying. It's on the table. I had a coach pull me by the face mask anger one time. That's like this dude like punched him damn near, it looked like. Not punched him, but hit him or whatever it was. Hey, UNT's got a big game tonight. Any UNT people out there? All right, so let's talk about Bron. So it's basically been LeBron's been missing. So by the way, all of this stuff coming out of Lakers camp is massively confusing because Ayton says he hasn't practiced with Luka and LeBron. Now, of course, everyone pretty much interpreted that as he hasn't practiced with Luka. And then I was doing some research on that. I was doing some research on that, and I was seeing reports over the last week from Lakers people. I said Luka has not been participating in some of the scrimmage stuff. But then yesterday it came out, I was like, no, he has. So the reporting on this has been massively confusing. Massively confusing. Well, Ayton might have meant he hasn't, because the question was kind of, what was it like working with LeBron and Luka? And then Ayton said he hadn't. So he might have been into saying, like, I haven't worked with both of them. I don't know. But LeBron had kind of been out with this glute thing. They clarified that Ayton meant LeBron and Luka at the same time. Okay. Well, the reporting on that was very confusing. Luka played last week, but not this week. I'm still confused by all of that. I don't know why. I don't understand really. But anyways, it's not a glute thing. It's a spine thing. Well, they said it was a glute thing. And now LeBron is expected to miss the start of the NBA season. How do you pronounce this? Sciatica, right? Sciatica. You see the commercials. It is kind of funny. Not funny. Obviously, this sucks for LeBron, but like you see commercials and it's always old people. It is always old people usually on these commercials. Sciatica. Yeah, that's right. Sciatica. You don't pronounce that C. Okay. Sciatica. I'm dealing with my moderate sciatica. Sciatica. Okay, I'm dealing with my moderate sciatica. L reader. Moderate to severe sciatica. So let's see what anything unlike the spine, man. I just knock on wood, man. That's one of my bigger fears is back things. I feel bad at PT. Whenever I'm in there, there's usually like 5 or 6 other people in there getting treatment at the same time. Almost all of them are back pain. Almost every single one of them. Very rarely is it not. Nico Harrison in the chat. Very rarely are they not there for back related things. And, I'll just overhear them talking to their physical therapist. And it's just like they've tried so many different things. It's just like, ugh, I feel so horrible. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, make sure you do so. Helps me out tremendously. Let's YouTube know I'm having a great time, of which we are. 200 plus of you in here. 32 likes. That ain't good. Symptoms and causes. Pain. Sciatica pain happens because of pressure on the affected nerve. All right, so what is it exactly? Your sciatic nerve is the longest and thickest nerve in your body. It's up to 2 centimeters wide. A U.S. penny or a United Kingdom 1 pence coin are about the same width. Okay? Despite its name, it's not just one nerve. It's actually a bundle of nerves that come from 5 nerve roots branching off from your spinal cord. Oh, you guys want to know something? Anecdotal. I learned something actually, about my DVT, which I'm hopeful is gone. But my DVT, in my brain, I thought like my blood clot in my leg was like literally like, I don't know, like something clotted in the thing, like in just one clot in the vein, right? And it's like, blood's having a hard time getting through that one clot and they're worried. But actually what they said was like the whole vein itself is like becomes skinnier. So it's like the whole vein going up. I'm doing a horrible job explaining it, but I was like, oh. That's not how I envisioned it. Anyways, random anecdote that has nothing to do with this. You have 2 sciatic nerves, one on each side of your body. Each sciatic nerve runs through your hip and buttock on one side. They each go down the leg on their side of your body until they reach just below your knee. 2 main causes of sciatica is inactivity while sitting and rounding back or improper lifting form. Ooh. I also did see somebody say, look, here's just the reality. The older you get, man, the older you get, the more prone you are to shit like this. I saw somebody point this out. You can get sciatica from golfing. So, Lodas with the $2. You made everyone stand up saying while sitting. You made it. Let's try to interpret this. You made everyone stand up saying while sitting. It's a streamer injury. Love you, Nesso. So Victor, as good as he was his rookie year, did not add wins to the Spurs. So why is the perception with Flag that he will be different? Is it playing with better players? Yeah, that Spurs team was shit out of an ass. Symptoms and causes. Let's see what the causes are. Herniated disc, degenerative disc disease, spinal stenosis, foraminal stenosis. Good luck pronouncing that. Spondylolithitis. Okay. Osteoarthritis, injuries, pregnancy. Could Braun be expecting? Tumors. They always got to throw this one in, huh? They always got to throw this one in. Jesus. Knock on wood. They always got to throw that one in there. My nose is stuffy. Let me look it up. Oh, okay. Yeah. Allergies. Massive, ginormous brain tumor. Oh, okay. Great. Let me just have that in the back of my mind now. Dude, there was a time once, I don't remember what I did. I was outside for a while and like in a crowded area where there was a lot of dust. And the next day I went to go blow my nose and it was just black. And I was like, what the fuck? I'd never experienced anything like that. I was like, what the fuck? So I search it, I look it up. Immediately, first thing I see, all types of different tumors, all types of different shit. And I'm like, oh my God, like there's no way out of this one. All right, there is simply no way black stuff just came out of my nose. And it's not the end of times. No chance. So I'm like, I'm starting to text people on my phone. Just like, hey man, haven't spoken to you a while. Hope all is well. Like, life's short. Let's reconcile. I know we had our disagreements, but like, life is too short for all this shit. You're kind of a hypochondriac, kind of. Brother, there's no kind of about that. But no, it's just a dust. Like if you're like outside of it and there's a bunch of dust, it turns your snot black. No, I'd agree with you that like usually I would say black stuff is pretty concerning. Being a hypochondriac is so easy, especially in the internet age. I will say this though, me being a hypochondriac led to me finding out I had a blood clot. So there's a give and take, I guess. What are the risk factors for sciatica? Having a current or previous injury. All right, that makes sense. Normal wear and tear. As you get older, normal wear and tear on your spine can lead to pinched nerves. Paul at the $2. It might have been your coal dust snorting habit. No, I was clean off the coal dust for quite some time at this point. I stopped snorting coal dust when I was 7. Age-related condition like osteoarthritis can also play a role. Maybe he has osteoarthritis. That's what sucks about health anxiety. The one time you're right just intensifies it. No, actually not really for me because I went and then they did a bunch of blood work on me and stuff. It was the first time I had blood work done in a while. And they said, yeah, your blood looks great. And I was like, all right, cool, bet. That'll last me a bit. That peace of mind will last me a bit. I had this injury last year and I couldn't sit or stand for an entire month. Gave me an entirely new appreciation for what Ben Simmons has gone through. Yeah, dude, back problems are not to be taken lightly. Like, it's why I will always love and respect Tony Romo. He gave it his all. Dealt with back problems his whole career pretty much. And then you'd read sad stories where like, yeah, Tony Romo like can't even really golf because he can't like stand. That's like, Jesus, man. Having excess weight or obesity, a good thing Luka got on a diet, so we're getting rid of that. Having insufficient core strength, your job. This could be it for LeBron. This could be it. Look at what back problems did to Michael Porter Jr.'s brain. Yeah. That's true, man. That's true. Not using good posture and form when lifting. This is why I try to avoid any type of ego lifting. Especially if you're not playing a sport or something, the cons greatly outweigh the pros, I feel like. Having diabetes, physical inactivity, using tobacco, unknown causes. Those are always the fun ones. So you can recover fully from sciatica. All right. Ice, heat, over-counter meds, stretching and activity. Surgery options. Four to 6 weeks without needing professional medical treatment. I mean, he'll get back out there. Now, the question is this something that can reoccur? Could this be a reoccurring one? Yes. So he's pretty much guaranteed to miss his the start of the season, 3 to 4 weeks. That's going into the start of the season. Does this force a trade for the Lakers? No, I don't think so. You know, I was actually reading Istak's newsletter this morning. And he kind of mentioned, and I think I kind of agree with him actually. He sort of mentioned that this could be a good thing early like not a good thing obviously, but there's some positives that can come out of it early season. Some positives that can come out of this early season where the Lakers rotation is more defensive minded and they can start Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt. And you can have Smart, Reeves, Vando, Luka. Well, wait. Ayton, I guess, with Rui coming off the bench, if that's the route you wanted to go. Or you can just start Smart to have a good guy who can guard. Yeah, I'm honestly, guys, you want to know something funny? I was going to make, you know how I did the How They Can Win Mavs video? I want to do some of those over the next week or so with like different teams. And I was in the process of making a Lakers one. And I'm going to be 1,000% real. I was going through all of the things. I'm like, all right, so this could happen for the Lakers to win in this. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was going through it and I was like, dude, I don't think this team's good. Like, I can't even really even get there in my brain. I don't think this is a good team. The only thing I kept going back to was like, they have Luka. That's literally it. Like, you get to the playoffs and just hope Luka goes into fucking supernova god mode. Like early Clippers series god mode, Luka. Some random at the 5. I mean, he's 41. At some point, age was going to catch up. Mother Nature is ruthless. This is like tendonitis. You can manage it. It's almost never healed. Yeah, I mean, this was something that anytime I'm like somewhat though on the Lakers, it's like, dude, LeBron was really good for them last year, and it is going to happen at some point. I know, like, he can play until he's 45. Who was it? Was it Nick Wright said he could be an all-star at 50? Like, yeah, we like to think that, but at some point, it's going to happen. And it just is. Are they better or worse or equal to the 2022 Mavs? Good question. I think they're pretty equal. Now, I will say I think the West is way harder in 2022 or in this year than it was in 2022. Slightly ripping Zens. I've never once done a Zen. LeBron is more help than early Luka ever had. They have a shot at winning a series or two. No, yeah, don't get me wrong. They can win a playoff series or two. I'm just like looking at them from an actual championship contender lens. I don't see it. I don't get the glorification of Zins. Yeah, this whole like the Gen Alpha, like we don't drink, but we love nicotine. They fucking love nicotine. Like I have friends whose younger sisters, like in their early 20s, are like ripping fucking Zins. And I'm like, dude, what? What is happening here? You guys are just dipping? I don't want to sound mean. I mean, it's high school, right? But like, girls who are like dipping in high school, it was like gross. It was like gross. And I'm not trying to be sexist. I think dipping is gross. Period. Zen's like a nicotine packet you put in your mouth, like a pouch. I wouldn't mind LeBron doing a Kawhi, just play 30 games the whole season, be in the best shape possible for playoffs. I just don't know if the Lakers are that good. You know? Dumbass says, I just have a crippling Adderall addiction at 26. That's it. Well, at least, you know, whenever I was in high school coming up, it was the big epidemic, at least in our area of Dallas, was Xanax and bars. Now, this was before, back in my day, this was before there was like a big time fentanyl crisis where everything was getting cut with fentanyl. Without the bars was... Here we go again with the 5. I feel bad for the Phillies pitcher. Luckily, Phillies, a fan base known for being very understanding and appreciative to its players. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure that he's, you know, they're all going to pat him on the back and tell him everything's okay and sing Kumbaya with him. For me, it was tons of vaping. My buddy sold them. So I will say this. So I will say, the way that some of you have described, some of you have had sciatica, have described it. You're like, I couldn't sit down. I couldn't even sit down. Some of these clips are fucking funny. Some of these clips are pretty hilarious. And I did see a clip of him like doing layups and stuff yesterday. So it can't be like that horrible. And they're probably 1/3 of Americans deal with sciatica every day. What? That cannot be true. %40 of Americans will experience sciatica at some point in their lives. All right, well, that's a lot different than 1/3 dealing with it currently. Unbiased Mets fan. Men between the ages of 30 and 50 are statistically more likely to experience it. Fuck. Shit. Dude, he's so funny. Oh man, I honestly hope he never retires. He's the funniest human being on the planet. I hope he never leaves us. Speaking of unks, Kawhi Leonard on the Clippers having a lot of unks on this team. I've been an unk for a long time, since I was 16 years old. It's nothing new. I started on a team with a lot of veterans. It's nothing new to me. When I first came in, I was with a lot of greats. Tim Duncan, Tony Manu, Steven Jackson, TJ Ford, Richard Jefferson. It's been like that for me. Oh, that's so funny. I love, man. Some of these dudes are just so offline. I just admire it. I wish it was me, honestly. Oh, speaking of being offline, I have now gone back to muting Luka Dončić, muted. It's been muted off of my Twitter timeline. Nothing against him. I'm still rooting for him. I'm still wanting him to succeed. It has nothing at all to do with him himself, right? This isn't even a bitter thing, right? This is more, I cannot. Oh, I've had Nico muted since the trade, and he has not become unmuted since then. But I cannot do the everyday crying. It makes no sense to me. I cannot do the everyday crying. I can't do it, man. I log on and I see, that Knicks alley-oop play, right? Nice play from yesterday in the preseason game, or 2 days ago, whenever it was. And then, I click on it, I watch it, then the algorithm's like, oh, he likes this. Next thing I see is like 10 tweets in a row fucking bawling their eyes out about the Luka trade because of that one clip where Luka got the steal and then Kyrie threw the lob to Derrick Jones Jr. It's like, dude, I can't. How do you guys do this every day? I have to ask. How? And then I was seeing like, oh, Coop will never be as good as Luka. And then there's these trolls, these like known trolls in Mavs Twitter who are like, nah, man, fuck Luka. And people are like, oh, this fan base is so stupid. It's like, these guys are trolling you. Like, holy shit, these guys are trolling you. Oh, this fan base doesn't deserve it. It's like, all right, bro. Curse Muse. Yes, Curse Muse has trolled me. People making too wide of an assumption based on small sample sizes. See, I saw this tweet going around, and I actually met David at Austin City Limits. He better fucking follow me back. But I saw this tweet. This is one of the most tame tweets, honestly. He didn't even word this in a way that's bad. Now, of course, some of the trolls took this and then built upon it and was like, yeah, actually, I agree. Fuck Luka. And it's like, all right. I want to go on record with this take. I love Luka. I'll never forgive Nico for what he did, and I would reverse everything if I could in a heartbeat. That said, I think Cooper Flag will be easier to root for than Luka was. Defenders like Flag have a certain way of eliciting joy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I agree, really, but I don't think this is like a crazy thing to say. I mean, what? Who needs to hear this take though? Like, what's the point of opening that up? I mean, who needs to hear any take though? I don't. At the end of the day, who needs to hear anything? It's just David's opinion. If you believe that, you're lying to yourself. You want to know what's actually like? There are some people who view the game through this lens, though. It's just like, yo, man. I mean, I shared. SJ had a tweet a couple of days ago that I thought was perfect, where it's like, she was talking about basically how she used to get shit on all the time for stuff she say about Luka, and no one would come to her defense. And now the Luka trade happened, now everyone's like, "No, actually, I agreed with you at the time." How is a defender easier to root for than a swagged out revenge monster? So if I had to, and I'm just going to speak for David here, if I had to guess more what he's saying is Flag will be less frustrating at times than Luka. That would be what I imagine he means. That it won't be as frustrating as it would get to at certain points with Luka. Which again, like all of Luka's highs pretty much washed out the frustrations every single time. And yes, Luka turning into a psycho fucking maniac is incredible to watch. And there's only a couple of those guys in the league. And that's the most fun thing to watch. But I mean, you guys know me. I have never been shy, ever been shy with my critiques of Luka over the years. I love Luka. I also love Cooper. What's so hard for folks to say and admit that? I think that's probably, he literally says that in here. That's how most people feel. The thing with Luka when it comes to the frustrations was it's like when I would voice my frustrations with Luka, it would never be because he missed shots. I mean, I would talk about that, right? Like last year when he was having a shooting stretch to start the season that was poor, you know, one of the worst 10-game shooting slumps of his career. Was that frustrating? Yeah, it was frustrating, but it was more so like, what is going on? It was more like, can we figure out why he's playing like this? Like, is he injured? Is he dealing with something? Like, what exactly is happening here? It wasn't like, dude, fuck Luka for missing these shots. I think people who think I hate Luka think I behave like that. Anyone who watches me knows I don't behave like that. The frustrations would be, why did you just fuck off this entire game yelling at the refs? And he's gotten better at this over the years. I'd say within the last year and a half, he's gotten much better at this. The year the Mavs missed the play-in tournament entirely, when they traded for Kyrie, it was really bad. Really bad. That was the worst. I think that was like the worst he was with the refs. And that was the year I got blocked. That was the year I was probably most vocal with it. He's still fucking off on the refs. No, I know he's still, like, he's never not going to complain to the refs, but it was at a point a few years ago where it was like, literally, he would not be playing the game. He would not be playing the game. He wouldn't get back on defense. He would spend entire possessions hunting fouls because he wanted to prove a point. Like, it was bad at that point. End of 2023. And that was just this fucked up season to begin with. So, like, but still. And then also, like, the defensive effort stuff. Like, hey, you're going to get beat from time to time, whatever. Like, I don't care about that, really. You're going to get blown by. That's whatever. Yeah, it was always the mental stuff with Luka. And the reason I was always so, like, quick to critique him on that was because, like, all right, this is a young dude, 24, 25, 26 years old, who I absolutely can think it can be a top 10 player to ever play the game. All right, like, I'm not insecure in my beliefs on that. So I'm down to critique him because I also understand, like, yeah, there's expectations that come alongside that. And there's other things that you have to do to achieve that. You know, and that was always it for me. And I still think he could get there. 99% of this fan base love Luka with all their heart. Yeah, I agree. Anytime I see like the Mavs fans ever, it's like, dude, what are you even talking about, bro? Like, seriously. What are you even saying? Have you paid any attention at all? Like, you see two tweets and it's like, yeah, well, I guess Mavs fans hate Luka. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You actually think that? But I also think part of it, too, is it's like, you know, did Dirk have stands? It's a different time. Stands are a relatively new thing because of social media and stuff. Dirk was on the back end of that. I mean, every Mavs fan was a Dirk stan, obviously. But Dirk was here his entire career. Like, he never left. So there wasn't really a Dirk standum. At least not that I remember. I don't remember there being like Dirk stans on Twitter who were like, fuck the Mavericks. He needs to leave this piece of shit team. I don't really remember it. The way like every stan is like that now with their player. The moment like The moment the Lakers lose a game, LeBron stands, fuck this piece of shit team. But I've had to like train myself to be like, all right, there's no real point in getting into these back and forth wars with like Luka stands, because it's like, that's their guy. Like, that's it. Like, the way I feel about my sports, like the Mavs, is how they feel about Luka. And that's just it. I don't like when people, well, not to the level some people get to, but like, when people critique your team, it doesn't feel good, and you want to be like, no, you're wrong. So it's like, these are their guy. This is their guy. Like, if you say something or insinuate that, hey, tonight's game was maybe on him, it's like, fuck you. It's like, all right. Like, I always remember when people be like, do you say this about Luka, but you don't say it about Dwight Powell? It's like, no fucking shit, I don't say it about Dwight Powell. Like, what? You want me to hold Luka to the same standards as Dwight Powell? Why on earth would I do that? Of course I don't hold them to the same standards. Are you out of your fucking mind? This is one thing I hate about your take about Luka stans being the worst. First, social media has never been this prevalent, and two, because of Mavs fans, you're in constant contact with them. Well, to be fair, I always preface saying I think Luka stans are the worst by saying I haven't dealt with other stans. Like, dealt with them in the sense that like constantly I'm talking with them. But for the most part, man, like there's Luka stans in here, who have stuck around. There's Luka stans in here who have stuck around, and people who like have watched me at all knows what it is. Kobe stans are pretty crazy. That's true. Russ stans are pretty rabid, but I feel like Russ's career has gotten to the point where it's almost more sad. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay. Pat him on the back. All right, buddy. It's all good. I'm going to stand for the Maniacs. That's what keeps me rooting for the team. Ooh, I like that. Bron stands are pretty bad, yeah. I mean, all stands are annoying. That's just the reality. It's the same way that, like, if you're having a conversation with somebody about their favorite team, it's almost impossible to get through to them about anything, right? Not every fan. There's like reasonable, like, okay, yeah, like I agree with what you're saying. But for the most part, it's hard. It's the same thing with players. I'm a proud Luka stan, but the ones on Twitter give us a bad name. I mean, it's only a select few. It's only a select few. Kyle Kuzma stans. I love the concept of a Kyle Kuzma stans. Oh, that's Jokic stans are pretty crazy, actually. Those Jokic and Embiid MVP debates would get a little rowdy. Yeah. Those are pretty bad, actually. Well, I think Embiid stans are just Philly fans, which we already know. Like, there's already like, okay, Embiid stans, we already know there's already a baseline because they're Philadelphia fans. So there's already going to be a level of crazy we're expecting going into an interaction. Do you mean racist? Yeah, it got there. It did. It did get there quite a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were some tweets on here I'd be like, whoa. Whoa. I started watching the NBA during the 2019 finals and chose the Mavs because of Luka, and I live here. I still like Luka, but I still live here, so I just follow two teams now. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just going and being a Luka fan. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. The NBA is very player centric, so I don't really see too much of a problem with just being a player guy. Like, I can't lie to you. If whenever I was 16 years old, if there's something similar happened to Dirk, Oh yeah, I honestly don't know what I would have done. I don't know what I would have done, to be honest with you. Very possible I would have left. There are a lot of white supremacists who use Jokic for propaganda and don't even follow the NBA. The concept of that is just hilarious to me. The concept of that is so funny. Can't buy this. Luka was hard to root for, BS. But like, I saw people, like David didn't even say that. David didn't even say he was hard to root for. And then anyone else who's like piggybacked off of this was trolling on the internet. You need to understand, trolling. I will say he was hard to root for at the end of Game 3 in the finals. It was more frustrating. And dude, you can't lie, he was a frustrating player to root for at times, man. Like, yes, the games where he would fuck off and yell at the refs the entire game, it's like, dude, please play the game, man. You're so good. Like, you're so good. There are times where it was like, dude, your biggest threat to your ability to be the best player in the world is yourself. Today's date is such a nice number. 10, 10, 20, 10, 10, 2, 5. Luka's a generational whiner. Oh, yeah, that was always one thing, too, where it's like, dude, he complains more than anyone in the league. Like, there's no debating that. And you know what? I don't even mind. I didn't mind when he... just wait until the whistle blows, and you can yell at him all the fuck you want. Why are we talking about this again? We segued into this somehow. How much preseason have you been watching? I'm gonna be real. I've been trying to watch none, and the reason is preseason just plays tricks on your brains. It just does. It plays tricks on your brain. I'll read stuff during the preseason. Like the stuff to me that's interesting is like, oh hey, this team is making a concerted effort, like the Knicks, for example. The Knicks have been making a concerted effort to shoot a lot more threes. All right, well, that's interesting. Let me sort of put that in the back of my mind. Is this going to be a concerted thing for them that they're going to try and do? Or is it going to be just something that's happening because it's preseason? It's like, oh, well, this is just like how this group plays. Knicks, T-Wolves played hard because they want to win the trade. I'm on Twitter and it's just like, oh my God, every player in the league is going to have a breakout. Like literally every single player, I've seen every player in the league get posted at least once. And it's like, yep, this is the year for him. And it's like, oh my God, the NBA is just going to, every team is not going to lose a game. But what I've been watching like more, like I saw Michael Porter Jr. throw a lob, and people online are like, who said Michael Porter Jr. is a bad playmaker? And then it's like Michael Porter Jr. playmaker league this year. It's like, okay. All right. Well, I did watch the Bazulis stuff. Bazulis does look good though. He looks quick. He looks really quick. He's huge. Şengün has looked good. I mean, Ace Bailey looked great. Ace Bailey looked fantastic. Tyler with the 999. Your pro comp for flag is Jalen Johnson. Sounds fun to root for. A good player, but never an all-star. Will you be emotionally fine when Ace wins Rookie of the Year? Is this like antagonizing? I don't understand the donation. I don't really get it. Like, bro, you know I didn't make the trade, right? So I don't know why. But also, I'm pretty high on Jalen Johnson. So if Cooper, if you're going to say Cooper's going to be Jalen Johnson, he's immediately going to be better than Jalen Johnson because he's a better playmaker than Jalen Johnson is. He has better scoring upside than Jalen Johnson does. I'd say better shooting upside than Jalen Johnson does. So if you're getting there bare minimum, then he's going to be better than Jalen Johnson. I already think Jalen Johnson's like borderline a top 40 to 50 player in the league if he stays healthy. So if you're saying Cooper Flag is a hyped up version of that, then that's a very, very good player who will make all-star games. And Jalen Johnson might make an all-star game. I said Cooper Flag, Jalen Johnson, year one is a pretty good comp. Yeah, Ace could. Rookie of the Year goes to guys who puts up stats. Ace could. I just think they got too many mouths to feed, and I don't think they'll be good. Yeah, any like flag Jalen Johnson comparison is made with me also saying that I'm pretty fucking high on Jalen Johnson. Like I think Jalen Johnson's really good. Lowe will be in Russello's place next week. Damn. Is Russello still making pods for the Ringer? But he's just out now. They're pretending like he doesn't exist, really. He's finishing out his contract, and that's that. Wow. The end of an era. We didn't even know it. I think Şengün has a better chance at winning Most Improved than Amin. But Şengün was already good last year. It's always hard when the guys who have already kind of broken out. You know? Jalen Johnson, overrated in my opinion. 30% three-point shooter, 20% usage rate, league average true shooting. Yeah, but what Jalen Johnson provides you is incredible size and very talented guy going downhill, plays really well with Trey, really talented, versatile defender who's also a talented playmaker for his size. It's just, it is like, you know, there is a definite Cooper Flag mold there. I've been out on Russello for a minute. Impossible to follow, was constant caveating what he's saying. Yeah, I've never enjoyed Russello solo pods personally. I think he's going to Barstool, but I don't think it's not Barstool, right? He's like making his own thing, but it's going to be funded by Portnoy. How good can you be without an outside shot in today's NBA? Your ceiling's probably definitely capped. But here's the thing, like if you're not a good shooter, and beyond that, if you're just a nothing shooter, right? A nothing shooter. Teams don't even have to worry about you on the perimeter. You better be absolutely elite at something else. Well, Amin Thompson's already an elite perimeter defender, elite defender in general. And also, he's probably the best athlete in the league. Like, he's probably the best athlete in the league. So you can't, it's almost kind of like how Ben Simmons was early in his career. It's like, you can't really give him a runway because he's so athletic and big that if you give him a runway, he's going to take it. And now you have him coming full steam ahead, and it's pretty hard to stop. I saw someone on Twitter a while ago making like Cooper Flagg's, like some of his college stats and peripheral stats are like comparable to Ben Simmons. Like, this guy's not. And I was thinking, like, you know what, dude? No back injury, no mental breakdown. Ben Simmons is probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Like, that guy was in year 3, damn near winning DPOIs. So, I don't know. That doesn't scare me very much. And also, like, I watched Cooper Flagg hit threes with my eyeballs. So, Ben Simmons, Ben Simmons, man. It's going to be weird because people are going to, like, if you ever compare a guy to Ben Simmons, it's just immediately you're going to be like, oh. But then you think about it more, and it's like, well, Ben Simmons healthy, though. It's a pretty damn good player. Yeah, I was looking at, I was reading the thing he mentioned, and there was like some similar stats, but they're just so, I think people have gotten a little too crazy with like the statistical comparisons to other guys. And like, there's so much context and nuance in those things. What was the trade thing you guys wanted me to say or look at on Bleacher Report? One trade idea for every team. Didn't we look at this already? Yeah, Ace looks good. Oh my God, this is a new article. Ace looked really good a couple nights ago. Any Mavs training camp stuff? Nothing that I care about, probably. I'm a sucker for these. And respect to Andy Bailey. He's a fiend for these. Respect going out there and making a trade. Going out there and making a trade for each team is not easy. Everyone's going to shit on you. So I respect it. One trade every team would make if the deadline was before the 25-26 season. Interesting concept. No in-season trades. You have to do all of your work before the season starts. The Hawks trade Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Ricochet, Asa Newell, and 2 first-round picks for Giannis. Wow. So what would your team even be at that point? You'd have Trey, Dyson Daniels, Giannis. Who's playing center at that point? Who is their backup big in Atlanta? Oh, KP. Oh, wow. Wow. I smashed no if I'm Bucks. Honestly, though, if you are going to trade Giannis, this is probably one of the absolute best packages you can get if you're Milwaukee. Jalen Johnson, right off the rip, is like more interesting as a player and as a younger prospect, younger player that maybe you can build around more in the future than like any other mock trade I've seen. Like I'd rather have Jalen Johnson than Cat. And obviously Cat's a better player right now than Jalen Johnson, but Cat's older. And I'm trying to like win right now with Cat. But then you add Okongwu and Ricochet and Asa Newell and 2 picks. That's really not bad. I feel like that's a no if I'm Atlanta, right? Like that's where exactly does that put me? Where is that team winning? You're like your entire future is gone. Now KP apparently has fully recovered from his mystery illness. Celtics Anthony Simons and a 2031 second round pick for Yusuf Nurkic. It's hilarious going from this to that. Why would the Jazz do this? I'm just imagining how hilarious that guard room would be in Utah. London Hoops with the $9.99. Love-hate relationship as a fan with Luka, and low-key was open to a trade for a haul in 23-24 when he came back fat at the All-Star break because I was tired of the cycle. But Stan's hating on Cooper Flag is so cruel and bitter. Yeah, I was never really in on a Luka trade at any point, really. But I mean, I have my frustrations with him too, man. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I do. I hate it. Was always going to happen inevitably. But yeah, the Flag, people shitting on Flag already. It is what it is. It was always going to happen. I will say the one thing that I don't like is like people who 4 or 5 months ago, or I guess 8 months ago, were Mavs fans, like turning on Kyrie now and being nasty to Kyrie. I cannot get behind. That I just really can't. To me, and I gotta be real with you, to me, my antenna perks up. My ears perk up when I see that shit. I gotta look at you a little strange. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm wondering what your motives are. I'm looking at you, I'm side-eyeing you a little bit. Anyways, would the Celtics do this? They have no centers, really. Anthony Simons in a 2031 second for Yusuf Nurkic. I probably would be more open to this than Celtics fans would. I'm just really not in on Anthony Simons. Nets, Michael Porter Jr. for Jeremy Grant and a top 5 protected 2031 first. I'd want the protections off of that pick. Because, yeah, Jeremy Grant's contract is dog shit. Michael Porter Jr. is better than Jeremy Grant. That'd be interesting for Portland. I want the protections gone, though. Because then I could have a 2031 unprotected Denver and... Because, right, that pick that they traded, the Denver trade was 2031, wasn't it? I get a 2031 unprotected Denver and Portland first? Okay. Hornets, Miles Bridges for Tobias Harris and lottery protected 2031 first round pick. It just feels gross trading Miles Bridges anywhere. Like, no fan base will be happy about that. Miles Bridges is a Detroit guy, isn't he? Or at least a Michigan guy. I actually kind of like this for Detroit. I mean, it gives the Hornets a first. Again, the lottery protected stuff, like... This is kind of interesting for Detroit. But in a way, though, Tobias Harris is really good for them because he does just kind of play like a vet. And I do think he had like an underappreciated season last year across the league because it's just easy to make fun of and laugh at Tobias Harris at this point in time. Bulls trade Vucevic and a lottery protected first round pick for Kuminga. Okay. I feel like if I were a Bulls fan, this would fucking make me so angry. Like to go from, wasn't it a few years ago there were reports that like teams were offering real stuff for Vucevic and they were saying no? To go from that to like now I'm also attaching a first round pick to get in the Kuminga business, and now I'm like kind of pigeonholing myself into paying him a lot of money. Yeah. I don't think I would love that at all. If Golden State decided, if we get to like January and Golden State's like, man, we need like an actual bigger center. This league is so big and we're trotting out like Draymond and Horford. We're so fucking small. We need a bigger guy and we still want to have that floor spacing. Vucevic does make sense on their team. Also, a good passer. Like I could see something like this happening with Kuminga. Bulls GM might be the dumbest person. Yeah, they are up there. Cavaliers. Oh, this is okay. Jared Allen for Obi Toppin, Bid Shepherd, in a protected 2029 first. Okay. There's some Ben Shepherd believers out there. I just don't get why you would do this. This feels like a next summer thing. Like you disappointed in the playoffs again, and now we want to shake things up. This doesn't feel like this makes them worse. Sure, they get a pick in 2029, but that pick's probably not going to be very good. This feels like, this is a slam dunk. No pun intended for the Pacers. This would be a great trade for them. Mavericks, here we go. Caleb Martin, a 2030 second round pick for Kyle Anderson. Okay. This is like that Alex Jones picture. The before and after pick. Can't quite say I see how Kyle Anderson fits on this team, really. Is his contract like a year shorter? Maybe that's the only way I'm like, all right. Because Caleb Martin's got this year, next year, and a player option. Yeah, you got 2 years left, so 1 year shorter. You'd much rather have Obi Toppin than Jared Allen? Oh, no. I kind of see where he's coming from, actually. Because Kyle Anderson is a good playmaker. But like the Mavs already kind of have a guy like this off the bench in Najee Marshall, who could, in theory, like be a backup point guard off the bench, who also doesn't really shoot well. Like we don't need another one of those guys. Caleb Martin actually provides you something, assuming he's healthy, with like, all right, this guy can at least defend a little bit. Denver Nuggets, Zeke Naji and a 2031 first round pick swap for Ayo Dosunmu. That would be fucking great for Denver. What was the MPJ trade then? Did they give it was a 2032 pick? Yeah, that would be remarkable for Denver. What? Yeah, 2032 first round pick. Okay. You think this is a win-win for both? 6 years. Conceivably, Jokic could be retired by that point. Okay. Yeah, that's not the worst. That's actually not the worst. Pistons, Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Bobby Klintman, 2030 first round pick, and a top 5 protected 2032 pick for Lowry. Man, people love mocking Lowry to the Pistons, huh? Oh yeah, that's right. That's true. There's nobody's going to be in the 2032 draft. We have learned that. Yeah, I can't. I'm out the Kuminga business. Yeah, dude. Obviously, this is like a, hey, if the trade deadline was tomorrow, what are some trades that could happen? I do think it would be a great fit. Look how good Beef Stew is, right? Like Lowry could slot into that and be a better version of that for Detroit. Like that could be a great fit. If I'm Detroit, I do want to see, like, let's not rush to too many conclusions here. I want to see Ivy with Cade. I think that's a backcourt that could work really well. So let me just play that out before we make any huge conclusions. Now, the thing that does suck is you have to make a decision on Ivy. I think he's extension eligible next summer, right? Jonathan Kuminga for Corey Kispert and a 2030 first round pick. Oh, so they get their pick back. Why do the Wizards have that? Was that? No way that was involved in the Chris Paul trade, right? Was it? 2030 first round pick? Was that for Chris Paul? Surely not. Yeah, the Pistons did get Karis LeVert. Why have I seen this? I've seen this multiple times. Kispert for Kuminga. I actually like kind of don't hate. I know I've said I'm at the Kuminga business, but I actually kind of don't hate this for Washington. It's not the worst. They've already taken a shot at Cam Whitmore. You know, Kuminga playing next to like Sarr. You could imagine a lineup: Sarr, Kuminga, Koulibaly, Keyshawn. Like you could have some like great athletes out there. I actually don't. I don't hate that really. Yeah, I'd have to imagine a 2030 first round pick from Golden State probably would be pretty good. Especially, I don't know if you guys saw, but Pod said he wants to have the franchise in his hands by the time Steph retires. So 2031st was from Chris Paul. Wow. In my mind, that trade was 10 years ago. Why is Jalen Brunson on the screen? It's just funny to go from like Caleb Martin for Kyle Anderson to this. Okay, Bucks get Fred VanVleet. This is for the Rockets, mind you. Bucks get Fred VanVleet, Josh Hart, Reed Shepherd, 28 first, 2030 first in 4 seconds. That is nowhere near enough. That is a really bad return for Giannis. That's not even worth doing. The Knicks get Giannis and the Rockets get Brunson. I mean, from the Rockets' perspective, this is a clear yes, right? You're basically trading Reed Shepherd and 2 firsts for Brunson. Easy yes. So the Knicks would then roll out Giannis, Mikal, OG, Mitchell Robinson. No, the Knicks say no. The Knicks aren't trading Brunson, man. Come on. That's their guy. That's their guy. I like it, though. Hey, I like it. I like him going out there like this. It's a hilarious trade. It's just, this article is funny to me. Caleb Martin for Kyle Anderson. Oh, okay. It like lulls you to sleep. And then it's like, the Rockets get Jalen Brunson. It's like, what? Pacers. Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, 2030 first round pick, 2025 top 5 pick for Trey Murphy. So 2 picks, Obi Toppin and Ben Math for Trey Murphy. That feels expensive, man. Is Trey Murphy really worth all this? Some of the Trey Murphy mock trades I see are nuts. And I'm like, really? Is this what it's going to cost to get him? I actually think this is a good point here where it's like, we don't want to do the restricted free agency run around with Benedict Mathurin and Trey Murphy's already under contract. I mean, I could see Trey Murphy being unbelievable next to Tyrese Haliburton. Don't get me wrong. But what is this? Year 3 for Benedict Mathurin or year 4? Are we already year 4 with him? Man, time fucking flies by, man. Year 4. God. Bogdan and Derek Jones Jr. for DeMar. Oh, what a Kings trade this would be, huh? I just don't. What is getting DeMar do for me? Yeah, this is it. You light my fire. You light my fire. Just such a lateral move for the Kings. And then on top, like, is DeMar's contract even that bad? Was it only like a 3-year deal at the time? I just don't know. At this point, I don't know what DeMar's just such a weird player to have on your team at this point in time. Lakers, here we go. Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Maxi Kleber, Dalton Connect, 2026 first round pick, 2028 pick swap, and 2032 first round pick for Lauri Markkanen. Wow. I mean, that is a lot. That right there is all of your assets. That's horrible for the Lakers. That right there is all of your assets, basically putting yourself in Lowry and Luka as our future. Lowry and Luka is our future. When in reality, you could just keep Reeves. LeBron, hey, maybe this is it. Whether that means retirement at the end of the year or he goes somewhere else next year. This is it for LeBron. We're going to have some money to spend. Let's have Luka, Reeves, and then whatever we want to do next offseason, whether that's a trade or a free agent push, and that's our group. I'd rather that than this. I know they're not guaranteed to keep Reeves, but I'm willing to bet you almost anything they do. Like, Reeves leaving in free agency would be fucking surprising. Hilarious, but surprising. Yeah, this would be bad, I think, for them. Not even to mention the whole, like, well, I mean, feels like a bigger haul than the Mavs got for Luka. Like, I mean, I got to throw that one in there. Oh, here we go. Grizzlies, Ja Morant. Let's see this. Ja Morant for Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Kasper Jakuchonis, and 2 first-round picks. Man, Ja Morant's value is this low. This guy was an MVP candidate 2 or 3 years ago. I'd do it if I were Memphis. Well, Rozier's a god-awful contract. Jaime Jaquez is who he is, like 8th, 9th guy. Kasparis, who knows? He's looked pretty good this preseason. Heat fans are very excited for him. A couple picks. I mean, if you want out of the Ja Morant business, then okay. I like it for Miami, I think. You guys think this is pretty good for Memphis? Interesting. I guess Memphis is the same with like, and they're not that comparable. I guess they're somewhat comparable. The Zion thing with the Pelicans is like, if my return for Zion is pennies on the dollar, I might as well just fucking keep him. Like, that's how I kind of feel with Ja if I'm Memphis. Is it's like, all right, his value's starting to get a little bit lower. Even if teams are like, hey, can we maybe buy low on Ja Morant? No, I'm not letting you buy low for Ja Morant. Like, I might as well just keep him. Here, I speak of the devil. Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Kasper Jakuchonis, 2026 first round pick, 2028 first round pick, 2030 first round pick, 2032 first round pick for Zion. Wow. I mean, that feels like a fucking disaster in the making for Miami. Dude, if you're the Pelicans and the Miami Heat offered you this tomorrow, you have to take it, right? Like, you have to say yes to that. If I were a Pelicans fan and it came out that I turned this down, I'd be furious. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot for Zion. Unless the Miami's like, we can fix him. We will fix him. Pelicans and Zion to Pakistan for the package. Do we think, like, you think Zion... Okay, so this is actually brings up an interesting point because these two are back-to-back. Do you think Zion has this much more value? What is it, 3 more picks? This much more value than Ja Morant? I think it actually... In my mind, I would say the opposite. I think Ja Morant probably has more value than Zion, right? Or are we like that low? Is Khalil Ware legit, by the way? Did you guys see the shit against Wemby? Yeah, he was fantastic last preseason, too. I remember he had his flashes last year. He's a talented player. Zion is way better when he plays and is in shape. I mean, the guy never fucking plays the game. Zion does have a lot of optimism. That's true. Here we go. Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, a lottery protected 2031 first round pick swap for Colin Sexton. Yeah, Giannis, go ahead and call it in, bro. Go ahead and call it in, man. Just no one would blame me, brother. No one would blame you. Colin Sexton, Pat Connaughton, and 3 second-round picks for Julius Randle. Gross. No. Why on earth would Minnesota do this? It's impossible to find an exciting trade for Minnesota Timberwolves right now. It's hard to find something reasonable. And I got to be, Andy Bailey wrote this, right? Like, props for making this article. It's very difficult to do something like this. Yeah, this is, I mean, dude, do we have a short memory? Like, Julius Randle was massively important for them last year. They're trying to win now. Fuck that. Pelicans, Herb Jones, Jeremiah Fears, Micah Peavy, and a 2031 first-round pick for Derek White. Yeah, but like, why would they do that? Yo, if you're the Celtics and the Pelicans call you tomorrow and offer this, you have to say yes to this, right? Yeah, I mean, you're saying yes, even if, like, I don't even care if Jaylen Brown and Tatum get mad. You're like, yo, Herb Jones on a fantastic contract. Jeremiah Fears, top 10 pick. And I get a 2031 first round pick from the Pelicans? Like, what? I would say, why would the Pels do this? But you never know. Okay, so like, what would the Pelicans team be? Derek White, DeJounte Murray reunion. Derek White, Trey Murphy, Zion. Are they going to start Yves Missy this year? I mean, that team's just not good. I mean, that team's not good enough to do something like this. I'd get it if they were like much closer, but they're not good enough. Here's the Giannis trade to the Knicks. Giannis for Cat, the day, 2028 first, 2030 first, 2032 first, 7 second-round picks. That's just not good. And the only way this is like somewhat okay is if I'm Milwaukee and I know there's another team that wants Cat and I can flip them immediately. Otherwise, like, these trades are terrible, in my opinion. Oh, here we go. Giannis for Hartenstein, Dort, Houston 2026 first, so that pick will be terrible. Mavs 2028 first, that pick will be terrible. 2030 first from Thunder, that will be horrible. 2032 first round pick from the Thunder, that'll also be terrible. That's a terrible return. I mean, that's awful. That's awful. Maybe I can flip Hartenstein for a first. Maybe I can flip Dort for a first or two. Like, you probably almost certainly could do that. But if I'm making a deal with the Thunder, bro, you're giving me Clippers picks. You're giving me, like, whatever. If I'm trading Giannis to the Thunder, and I don't think the Thunder would even do this, but if I'm trading Giannis to the Thunder, you're giving me all of your good picks. I don't want the fucking Rockets 2026 first. Like, fuck that. Keep that pick. I'm not even entirely sure I want the Mavs 2028 first anymore with Flag in the picture, but I could see teams maybe like, if AD's gone by then, like, that team might not be great. Okay. I need the Clippers pick. I need any of your good picks. Fuck the 2026 Rockets first. That pick sucks. 8 second rounders. I do love that he includes that. Suggs, Jonathan Isaac, 2029 first round pick swap, 2031 first round pick swap, and a 2032 first round pick swap for Trey. So 3 swaps. Trey's just not a Magic player at all. The idea is kind of fun. Trey, Bane, Franz, Paolo, Wendell Carter Jr. That's pretty good. Like, that's a good team. But that's your team. After your trade for Bane in this trade, like, that is your team. You're locked in. How could they even afford this? How could they? Because then you'd have to pay Trey. Is that even possible for them? With Bane, Franz, and Paolo all making the money they make? We do have some Magic fans that linger, that loiter around. We also have some Hawks fans that loiter around. The thing, okay, the reason why I would say probably no to this is that's a lot to give up for Trey. I'm a big believer in Trey. So if I'm the Hawks and I want to trade him, yeah, this is like what I'm demanding. So I get that. Okay, so I'm giving all that up to pay Trey, and then if I'm giving all that up to pay Trey, to get Trey in a trade, I'm then, I'm setting myself up to pay him because I'm not going to give up this much to not pay the guy. But I think the thing is with Paolo and Franz hopefully taking steps forward, you have Bane now. Like I would want a more toned down Trey, where he's more of like a floor general, get us into our offense. And then if that's what I'm doing, then I just gave up way too much for him. Does that make sense? It kind of, it makes like a trade makes more sense to me if it's like, I'm like, I need a star. I need another star. Shortest backcourt wingspan in NBA history. Magic on that point forward angle. And that's another thing too, Javi. I don't think people are fully grasping this. The league is moving. It's changing in front of us. We see this happen from time to time. The league is changing. So these teams like, well, they don't have guards. They don't have guards. Teams are moving away from like, we have to have like a traditional smaller point guard on the team, on the roster. Like teams are moving away from that. Obviously you have your great guys that, yeah, those guys will play no matter what. But teams are moving away from that. Saying, yeah, you know what? I'll take maybe a little step back in the playmaking department if it means my lineup can just be bigger and I can just have like my forwards bring the ball up and stuff. It's actually a reason why, like when the Fred VanVleet injury happened, I do think it caps. I do think it hits their championship ceiling a little bit, hurts it a little bit, right? But as we've gotten closer and I've looked at these teams more, like I'm still pretty fucking high on the Rockets actually. They don't have that traditional like point guard anymore, but they've got a lot of guys who can handle the ball and do stuff with. Sixers. Oh. Joel Embiid for Vucevic, Zach Collins, and Noah Asonge in one first. Wow. Oh, that's just tough to read. Yeah, I mean, if this were 2K, fuck yeah. Get me out the Embiid business. Get me out of it. I get Vucevic expiring, Zach Collins expiring. Some people love Asonge and a future first from the Bulls. So, like, why exactly is Chicago doing this? And we can make fun of Chicago, but this isn't even like something they would do, I don't think. This trade is sad to look at. Like, it's just like, yeah, I actually can see how this would make sense. It's just insane that this is where we are with Embiid. Grayson Allen and a top 11 protected 2026 first round pick for Kuminga. So it was reported the Suns wanted Kuminga. Yo, honestly, I mean, I'm just so out on Kuminga. Honestly, I would do this if I were the Warriors. I would do this. I would do this in a heartbeat, I think. And I actually, this would actually make some sense. I actually see a world where this makes sense for the Suns, honestly. Like, the Suns are a team where I'm like, yeah, it might make sense to have Kuminga. Trailblazers, Jeremy Grant, and 2 second-round picks for Kyle Kuzma and Andre Jackson Jr. Oh, God. Kuzma makes 10 million less and has his contract expires sooner. Why the fuck would Milwaukee do this? So Milwaukee just gets more expensive. Remember when Jeremy Grant was all the rage with NBA nerds? Oh, I would have suckered. Well, the 5-year contract was absurd. But a few summers ago, I would have suckered my way into Jeremy Grant, I think. DeMar DeRozan and a 2026 second-round pick for Anthony Simons. I don't think Boston would do that. I don't think they want that added extra year. See, DeMar is strange. Surprised that they don't have a Kuminga trade for the Kings. Oh, here we go. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, 2028, 2030, 2032 first-round pick for Giannis. Yeah, so, I mean, just right off the bat, if the Spurs have an actual realistic pathway to get Giannis, they should do it. Absolutely. That front court would be maybe one of the greatest ever assembled. So let's just start there. If I'm the Bucks, like, yeah, Castle's cool and everything. Castle to me will just probably be more of a complimentary piece to his career than, and I think he'll be a really good player to have on your team. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he'll ever be like a blue chip type guy. I need Harper, man. You want Giannis? I gotta get Harper. I have to have him. And you know what? You can keep some of your picks. I need Harper. If you really like those guards, it's a good deal. Yeah, I mean, if the Bucks love Castle, you guys know my relationship with Devin Vassell. By the way, I'd fucking jump off of an overpass if this trade happened. Like, it'd be kind of cool as an NBA fan, but as a Mavericks fan, I would jump off a fucking building. This would be horrible. RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Ochai Agbaji, and a 2030 first-round pick for Embiid. Oh, man. These Embiid trades. Well, if Philly wanted to just get rid of him, this isn't half bad. This actually is not half bad if you're Philly and you want to get off of Embiid. So the Raptors team would be Quickly, Scotty, Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, and Embiid. Yo, if you got a healthy Embiid season, that's not that bad. Honestly, if the Raptors just had a meeting and they're like, dude, fuck this, fuck being like a 6 seed. If Embiid's healthy, like, hey, the Sixers just called us and they offered this. If Embiid's healthy, like, that group could make a real legitimate push in the Eastern Conference. And if he's not healthy, then fuck it, we won't be good anyways. Am I crazy for thinking that? Quickly, Scotty, BI, Embiid, that's not a half bad squad. This is kind of interesting. You're already super expensive. The hell? Oh, I thought this was going to be a Wemby trade. All right, Utah Jazz. We've seen Lowry's name a bit in here. Lowry for Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, 2026 first-round pick, 28 first-round pick, 30 first-round pick, 31 pick swap. God damn, is Lowry's market that big? Surely not, right? I don't think there's any way a team is giving up this much for Lauri Markkanen. Maybe before he signed the contract and was playing like that. Yeah, Lowry and Wemby would be a really good front court too. The player-wise, Vassell and Harrison Barnes, yeah, for sure. I'd do that if I'm the Spurs. It would just be like, do I want to give up that many picks? Used to be just Kleba. Yeah, it did. That was a swing and a miss. I think this could be a... that's because Danny's blackmailing you to those picks. That'd be funny if that was factored into the equation here. And Wizards, CJ McCollum for Kyle Oh, my God. CJ McCollum for Kyle Kuzma, Andre Jackson Jr., and a top 5 protected 2032 pick swap. Giannis, just request it, man. Nobody would be upset at you. Okay? Nobody will be upset at you. Everyone would understand. If the season, all right, so the idea behind this was if the deadline was before the season, but let's just say the season started and CJ looks pretty good and the Wizards were open to doing this in like January. This actually does make some sense. But yeah, Kuzma going back to the Wizards would be fucking hilarious. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. I'm going to Fan Jam tonight. Dallas Mavericks Fan Jam. Fuck's going on? This article is bricking my computer. And then I'll be live tomorrow night. The Mavs play a preseason game. So I'll be live tomorrow night. The only time I won't stream a Mavs preseason game is if like no one's playing, in which case, Was that all we needed to talk about? Every day I thank the Lord Nico couldn't get Kuzma. I feel like Kuzma's whoops, wrong screen. The league's feeling about Kuzma is clearly much different than how fans feel about him. And I feel like fans are right on this one. All right, folks, thank you all for tuning in. All of the OGs, you guys know, love you very much. Could have spent your Friday afternoon anywhere in the world. You decided to spend it here. New subscribers, I promise you guys will not regret it. Donations, members, thank you guys so much. You never have to do that, but it helps me out tremendously. It makes me feel so good. You guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. If you're going to Fan Jam tonight, wear that Mavs veteran hat, and I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow if you want to come hang out, watch some preseason basketball. Yeah, that'll do it for me. Love you guys. Talk to you all later. Oh, rest in peace, Sister Jean, by the way. Rest in peace. 106. Man, we could all be so lucky, huh? What a great life. Love you all. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.